with what's happening with MicroStrategy and all of the different products that they're producing that are Bitcoin backed, and they have
Oh, I have some thoughts on that too.
yeah, yeah. It's that to me that is the biggest threat that the crypto
Yeah.
industry faces.
Hmm.
But it could also be its biggest benefit. I'm not entirely sold, but I don't. My beautiful, pristine, in my mind, do your own research, virtually risk-free Bitcoin just got a little riskier with them doing what they're doing with adding in all of those different
I
leveraging things.
mean, it's Bitcoin with leverage, right? My thoughts on that is I used to think Michael Saylor is going to be the next SBF. Is going to be the next FTX. Thing is, I've been listening to Saylor since on and off since 2020, since he broke to the crypto scene.
Yeah,
Um, uh, I will he's not stupid enough to fuck this up. Basically, that would be my view.
he's
I don't
very
think he's
clever,
gonna
isn't
get
he?
liquidated. I think the way he's structuring this is pretty solid. That being said, there's two risks to his company, uh, which is basically it comes from the same thing, contagion. He's pretty smart. The way he structured this leveraged, this way to use leverage to basically he's shorting the dollar to buy Bitcoin, which is a good strategy if you're careful because leverage always exposes you to liquidation. The problem is he's very good at that. I don't think he's going to get liquidated probably ever. Um, that being said, the ones who are copying him, I don't think they're nearly as intelligent, and they're throwing other things at it. They're throwing, Solana, Ethereum, Litecoin. I think I heard recently, and they're much more reckless. Those guys are coming down. So if this thing becomes a thing, if crypto treasury companies become a thing, most of them are going to fail. And as those companies fail, they're probably going to it's going to be a stain on MicroStrategy or strategy now itself. Like people are going to start selling MicroStrategy stock because XYZ treasury company that held Solana just failed. And so they're going to start speculating that maybe Michael Saylor's company is not as pristine as we thought. I think he survives that, but don't be surprised to see a large collapse in the value of his own stock, even though he's doing everything right because that's how
Yeah.
markets work. They begin to look for the next domino, and if these dominoes begin to fall, he's the last one to fall, and he will be affected by this. Again, I think he survives in the same way that after FTX fell, they went after CZ and Binance, and he survived. He had to do time in jail, but he survived. Binance survived. He survived. He's still around. So CC ran a clean shop. He wasn't into the same type of stuff that SBF was into, but it still affected him personally. So Michael Saylor, I hope he realizes he is at risk from people copying his strategy. This is not a good thing because it's starting to take hold. It's starting to become a thing. People want to do the same thing with other tokens. And so this is his biggest risk. And if you're a MicroStrategy shareholder, this is a big risk for you because he may have the cleanest ship of all of them. That does not mean that he's not going to feel the splash from other people, other companies doing stupid shit with altcoins. I
Yeah.
mean, we've seen this time and again.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's the biggest potential risk, but it's also the biggest potential reason and a necessary stepping stone to take it to the next level. So I'm a little bit out to lunch on that. I want to talk about something a little different here, which is I think this Genius Act has created a course which will mean that the US dollar becomes even more entrenched as the world reserve currency.
I agree.
I think people will use it even more, and they'll certainly use stablecoin version of US dollars a lot more.
Yeah.
And so that question becomes, what does that mean to the market? I think it's pretty reasonable to say that Ethereum's current rally is a direct result of that because most of the stablecoins in the world run off of Ethereum. But here's my concern with Ethereum. It cannot scale to the level it needs to scale to. And what we see in every single cycle, Bitcoin rallies, shifts down to the second tier ones, Ethereum, maybe Solana. They start to rally, their networks get congested, gas fees skyrocket, and people go and look for the next tier of thing where they can do their exact same strategy and trade their stable coins on something else where the gas fees are not as high, and you get this cascading down into these other levels. I see that exact same thing taking place here. At some point, the gas fees on Ethereum are going to get too high. It's going to get too frustrating and too expensive to work with, and we're going to shift into other things. I'm just trying to map that out. And is there something that comes from left field that is not really blockchain? Does it even need to be blockchain? And is there something that solves the problem now that we have this situation where we can have these stable coins? Does it need to be run on a blockchain? Are we willing to trust XYZ company that's audited every 3 months and they just run an Oracle database and do transfers for pennies? Like, does this whole world collapse? And there's a new thing that comes out. Is there a new thing that should come out? This is where my mind kind of goes to this world, because if that stable coin liquidity goes to somewhere else, that could be the investment of the lifetime. That could be very, very cool.